Oh man, God almighty, man. Well, this rack here consists of an Epiphone Thunderbird that I acquired this year. Thank you, Steve. You know, I've never had a Gibson style bass before. I always I'm constantly looking for a ripper or a grabber, one of the two. This is my Squire fretless, vintage modified. This is a nice bass. It really plays well. This rack is a little too tight. Anyway, this Ibanez came to me in pieces. This is one of those free guitars that somebody had in the closet for years. I put back together. Plays really well. Yeah, you see this rack is really tight. And there is a PV milestone, which is basically PV's precision type bass. Oh man, I'm being extra gentle. It sounds like I'm banging them around, but I'm really not. A couple of guitars in there. That Mustang is a really good player. That came to me in pieces. I'm not going to drag it out because everything is so tight. And that Squire Bullet and Area, they're Strat types. That Mustang has got, well, I will pull it out because it came to me in pieces. It's got those, the guy actually had, it was in pieces, but he had these humbuckers. I don't know what they are. I have no idea. They were wrapped up. They're brand new. They sound amazing. A couple of acoustics in there, a few acoustics. This is a really cool piece. This little parlor guitar that I need to finish up. I got to find a bridge for it. It's got a floating bridge that goes with it. But it's pretty old. I think it's Japanese made. And people think that it's like, a kid's guitar. I mean, it could be, but it's a parlor guitar, so it's extra small. Anyway, that's those in that rack. This rack is the rack I use the most, hence it being over here close to my desk. That classical back there, I've had this, good Lord, I bet you I've had this thing, this Yamaha, oh man, at least 25 years, at least that long. I don't remember where, I bought it in Ohio, I know that, that's the only thing I remember. Because I've been in North Carolina 22 years, 23 years. Man, I've had that guitar longer than that. I got that guitar in the 90s. Yeah, I got that guitar in the early 90s, like 92. So, yeah, 30 years. Going on 30 years. This Ibanez here, or Sound Gear, is a really cool piece. This This sound gear is, I don't know if you can see that or not. Probably focus, camera. Focus, focus, focus. Japanese, made in Japan. The camera won't focus, but yeah, there. You might be able to make that out. This is an early 90s. Matter of fact, this might be an early 80s sound gear. This is an early 80s sound gear. I think I looked it up once. 81, I believe. So I saw that guitar. I'm not a big fan of painted instruments, but especially that green, that's not my color. It looks blue there. I don't know what color that is. It's blue, green, something like that. But that bass has got some punch to it, man. I mean, it's awesome. My Epiphone 335 dot, sweet guitar. My acoustic electric, it's a Dean. Look, I have a few. I mean, that guitar didn't cost anything. I think that thing was $100 or something like that, new. Maybe it was more than that, but I got a discount on it. But it was brand new. And one thing you have to on acoustic electrics, for them to be loud, unplugged, the body has to be big. Needs to be big. This thing sounds really good acoustically. The electronics are not the best. I mean, they're serviceable. I've used that bass on a number of times when somebody wanted an acoustic upright, which I didn't own at the time. And I said, well, I have this, and I played it, plugged it in. It's got that sound, it's got flats on it and everything. It did the job. And then here's my P Bass. This is a Squire P Bass. It is an older Squire with tape wounds on it. I did upgrade the pickups. I put some bass lines in there and changed the pots. And wow, this thing is. I played that bass a lot. I've used that bass a lot. This is with Chet, when I play with Chet Nichols and the Repeat Offenders, and I've recorded with it on numerous occasions. It sounds, matter of fact, the day that I got that bass, I recorded with it. I was at the studio. The engineer was like, dude, because I brought several instruments, and I'll show the other ones. And it was like, that one, that's the sound. Yeah, that's a P Bass. I paid $40 for that thing. $40, yes. This Aria Pro, this is the Aria Pro Thor sound. Wow. This is not my bass, but it resides here. It's been here for a good long while. There's a pedigree to this bass, I believe. I'm still researching it. It belonged to somebody. I believe that it belonged to a pretty famous band. Until I figure that out, if it's true or not, I get to the bottom of it, I won't divulge that just yet. But yeah, there it is. Let me stop this because I'm running out of space on my card. I'll be right back to continue. To be continued. So yeah, and there is the American 5-string P. This is an awesome instrument. This with a, let's see, I think I've got labellas on this. Do I have labellas? No, these are Diodario tapes. Yeah, Diodario tapes. Let me see. I can tell you right quick. Yep, Diodario tapes. And this is not my bass. It has been residing here for a while too. The owner one day is going to come and get this bass, and I'm going to be sad. But until then, Tiffany, I'm going to keep playing it. And then we have my Mustang short scale with Diodario tapes on it. Really, it's got the PJ set up in it. It's really, that bass sounds great. Sounds awesome. It's my slap machine over here. This Fender Deluxe, '04 Fender Deluxe that I've had since I think '08. I think I got it in 2008. That bass, there's a backstory on it. I bought it. It was brand new, never been sold. They only made this particular model of that deluxe series like this 1 year, I believe. It'll be in '04, maybe '05, but I'm pretty sure it was just that 1 year. And then they changed it, and it's got a 18-volt active preamp in it. And like I said, I call it my slap machine. That thing it's just dirty. It's dirty. And then here's my PV Cirrus 6 walnut body with maple stringers and a Wingate top. The light in this place doesn't do it any justice. The top is gorgeous. I got this bass in 1990. I looked this thing up the other day. 98. 99. I ordered it in 98 and I got it in 99. This is when PB still did their custom shop. You get several different iterations of this Cirrus, different wood combinations and what have you. And the Cirrus, for you that don't know, the Cirrus was one of those basses that a lot of cats slept on. A lot of cats didn't, they finally did get the memo, but people think PV, but their high-end stuff is amazing. Their low-end stuff is amazing, actually. How many of y'all remember the T40s that weighed, 950 pounds? Which was really not low-end, to be honest with you, but they were really nice. And I'm still looking for one of those. I'd never play it on a gig. But I'd play it in the studio for sure. But anyway, I've had that PV. I've had it for, you do the math, 99. And I've made I have never turned the truss rod on this thing. The only thing I've actually ever done to it, other than change the battery, it's got an 18-volt system in it also. The only thing I've ever done to this bass, other than change the batteries, of course I've changed the strings, is lower the saddles, because I went from a pretty heavy gauge string to a ultra low. Those are Labella super steps on there, and if you know anything about the super steps, they have an exposed core that goes across the saddle. My phone, yeah, you might see make it out. And so they're also, super light gauge strings. It's 128 on a B down to a 32 on that C string. And they sit really low. I have super low action on that bass. So I've lowered the saddles. But that's the only thing I've ever done to it, I mean, in 20 plus years. Super solid. And speaking of super solid, there's my PhD, which is the newest addition to the toolkit. I've already done a video on this thing. This is my short scale fretless PhD. Maple body, swamp ash body, maple back cap, and a Buckeye burl top. Ebony fretboard, roasted maple neck. And look at the flame in that neck. And that cutaway. Like I said, I've done a video on it. And that's my, well, don't forget about, I said earlier that I use my acoustic electric for upright gigs because I didn't have one. And then over here, sitting in the corner, is my aluminum upright that I'm still working on it. There's still some more stuff to do, but it's playable now. It is playable. 1939 Frechner aluminum upright. Yeah. And it didn't look anything like that when I got it. There's pictures of it in the restoration process. And there's the brains of the system. There's my toys, my foot toys. I'll talk about those on another video. I have a bunch of pedals. Few amps. Oh yeah, there's my baby grand that was gifted to me. And sitting on top of it is a 1962 Silvertone turntable. 1962, bruh. Got it from my great uncle, who bought it brand new. Yeah. I play albums. So there you go. There you have it. This is my spot downtown. And some of my instruments. Peace.